Everyone is familiar with the cuddly yet ferocious marsupials down under known as koalas, and most know about their devout eucalyptus diets, but likely, not much thought has really been dedicated to wondering how these Aussies can maintain such a lifestyle. How is it possible for koalas to digest and subsist off of toxic eucalyptus leaves? The answer to this lies within the koala's digestive tract. Before we talk about the koala's digestive specifics, it would be a good idea to familiarize you with the digestive process of hindgut fermenters in general. Yes, fermenters, but not really the alcohol type. Most animals have an impressive catalog of gut bacteria, which are microorganisms that can be found inside an animal's digestive tract and serve a variety of functions to aid digestion. They may be found in the foregut, which is the esophagus and stomach, the midgut, the small intestine, or in the case of koalas and us humans, the hindgut, which encompasses the large intestine. Other examples of hindgut fermenters would include most herbivorous mammals like horses and rabbits, as well as some birds and reptiles. Hindgut fermentation can aid with the breakdown of cellulose and other structural carbohydrates to create short-chain fatty acids that the animal can utilize by diffusing them through the walls of the gut. However, since the hindgut is at the end of the digestive tract, a lot of the other nutrients that the microbes supply, such as vitamin B, essential amino acids, and recycled nitrogen, end up being pooped out before the animal can absorb them. Due to this interesting factoid, a lot of hindgut fermenters are infamous poop eaters, and this would include our friends the koalas, who are known to feed poop to their young who are not yet able to extract enough nutrients from eucalyptus, and we'll go into this in a little bit more detail later. So, what is the journey of a eucalyptus leaf through the bowels of a koala really like? Well, picture this. A koala is clinging to a eucalyptus tree and decides to take a bite of its favorite meal. The leaves are bitten off with the koala's teeth, which allow them to be cut into smaller bits in the mouth and then swallowed so they can make their way down the esophagus. The chewed up eucalyptus passes through the stomach, then the small intestine, and some absorption takes place here, but the next step is arguably the most important in this entire digestive process. From the small intestine, the food will enter the cecum, which is a special part of the large intestine. The koala's cecum is huge. It makes up 20% of its intestine and is oddly a dead end in configuration, and this is where the koala's fermenters reside. And the eucalyptus spends a lot of time here, and the microorganisms access a lot of the nutrients within the leaves during this stage. Once the processed eucalyptus makes its way out of the cecum, it travels through the proximal and distal colon, then the rectum, and finally is expelled as waste from the anus. Now Luke, a fellow koala expert, will explain in more detail how koalas survive off of eucalyptus.
As we know, koalas are very specialized eaters and have evolved to live on a diet consisting almost entirely of toxic eucalyptus leaves. The benefits to eating only toxic leaves is that there's very little competition for this food resource. The only other animals known to eat eucalyptus leaves are the ringtail possum and great gliders. Eucalyptus leaves also contain a high concentration of water, which can make up almost 50% of the leaf. In fact, koalas get enough water from just eating these leaves that they rarely have to descend from the trees to drink. And it's even thought that the name koala comes from the Aboriginal word meaning no water. However, eucalyptus leaves are also very low in energy, being made up of only about 5% sugars. And so to try and make up for this, koalas digest their food for a very long period of time. And to get the most out of it, aren't very active to preserve as much energy as possible. So they sleep around 20 hours a day. But because of the other benefits to a eucalyptus diet, this low energy lifestyle works for the koala. However, there are some downsides to being so specialized in what you eat. Even though they mainly eat eucalyptus leaves, koalas are still very picky eaters when it comes to the eucalyptus leaf. There are over 600 different species of eucalyptus trees in Australia, but because koalas need to have such a specialized digestive tract, they're only able to eat about 30 of these species. Even then, an individual koala from one region might not be able to eat the same leaves as another koala from another region. This is due to koalas not being born with the necessary gut microbes to digest eucalyptus leaves. So instead, they need to obtain them from their mothers through a process called trophallaxis. This is where a parent passes down the necessary microbes for digestion to their offspring. And in the case of the koala, They are what are known as proctodeals, meaning this is done by the mothers excreting a fecal paste full of microbes called pap, which the baby koalas then eat in order to gain these microbes to digest eucalyptus leaf. So if the mother doesn't have the necessary microbes to digest a certain eucalyptus leaf, then her offspring won't be able to eat that leaf either. And this can be a huge problem because koalas have been seen to run out of food either by just eating it all up or more notably from habitat loss. And when they do so, they aren't able to just go to a different eucalyptus tree and eat the leaves off that. Instead, they'll just starve. So scientists, however, have been trying to collect the gut microbes from an individual specialized in eating one type of eucalyptus leaf and seeing if they can pass it on to other individuals who wouldn't normally be able to eat those leaves in order to prevent this whole food loss issue. So all in all, koalas are able to digest and live off of eucalyptus leaves with the help of their very specific digestive tract and gut microbes. The low competition for these leaves and their high concentration in water means that koalas are able to live this very idle lifestyle to make up for the lack of energy in this preferred food of theirs. And although this diet comes with some downsides, koalas have still managed to survive until today. They've been able to make this diet work for them, and with the help of today's scientists, will hopefully be around in the future.